Hi, it's been a while, but before I even start today's video, I'd just like to make one statement. Why do all Linux YouTubers sound the same? You know what I'm talking about, right? Like they all have this like specific way of talking, speaking. I don't understand. Like it's not the same as me. I'm different, clearly. Anyway, what's up? Sorry about that. Hope that woke you up. I'm here today just talking to you about why I switched to Linux. I know, weird thing. Why is the fucking funny man funny talking about Linux? I feel like I'm passionate about it, and I'm passionate about just freedom, I guess. I say freedom, I'm still using Gmail, I'm still using Google search. You know, I'm not a schizophrenic in the basement. Like I need to route my entire Wi-Fi through some Pi-hole server. No one must know. No one must know. But you bet your ass, I will be doing that once I'm living by myself. But besides that, the big reason why I switched to Linux is because I'm just tired of Windows, and I'm not entirely sure if you guys are feeling the same way or just generally understand. I'm tired of just booting up Windows and seeing an ad in my, I'm guessing I'm going to call it a safe space. The reason why I'm calling it a safe space is solely because, for a lack of better of a term, for a lack of better of a term, this is my home environment. Whenever I go to work, this is what I'm using. For reference, I just graduated a degree with computer science, and in my free time, I actually do program. I just create my personal website, and I'll be doing one for content for my specific content creation, and hopefully you'll be seeing that soon. But besides my endeavors, this is my workspace. This is what I call personal. As you see there, right behind me, right over there, right over there. That is I'm a fucking terrible YouTuber if you can tell. But right over there is my guy, my main man, me. So imagine you're in your safe space and the first thing you see blaring at you, you press the Windows key and all you fucking see is, hey, here's an ad. You want to download Opera GX? You wanna save children? I don't know what the fuck they're putting on there. I rarely ever look at the I rarely ever look at the start menu. Oh, by the way, if you spam the start key, I don't know who the fuck decided this was a good idea. It's a fucking React object. It's a React window. So of course, it just lags the entire system every time you load up to it. You open it up. Who in their right fucking mind would ever do anything like that? I don't understand. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. Also, see, I told you I was different. I'm yelling. I don't speak coherently. I might actually just be schizophrenic. So it balances out, so it's okay. And I guess you're probably wondering to yourself, like, ABR, why do you care so much about this stuff? The simple answer is I just want some freedom. I just want simple, I just want something I could use. I just want to know my system. While Windows is still used and still fantastic to use for specific use cases, I'm going to get into it. I even still use Windows, and I'll tell you why. If you don't have any serious connections, or if you have the technical know-how to even just dual boot, and which is something I do recommend doing, I'm not even going to teach you how to do it because there's so many tutorials online. They explain much better than me. That you can follow it there. I'm not. So a big reason why I switched to Linux was because I was just sick and tired of Windows bullshit. I know the biggest thing was Windows Recall, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna roll with whatever I'm doing now, and I'm just gonna switch to Linux. And honestly speaking, it was very easy transition. You're probably wondering, oh no, I have to learn so much. Oh, I have to do so much. No, this, that, whatever. That's all bullshit. I'm just gonna tell you like flat out. Uh, Linux, depending on the desktop environment, and let me tell you, you don't need to worry about this if you're just what is it called? Just want to stick to Windows. If you just want to stick to a Windows-like system, you can get a Windows-like system on Linux. It is not hard at all. You don't need to touch a terminal at all. There is an app store if you use MacBooks. It is really is not that hard. As for me though, I didn't want a Windows-like experience. When I got into Linux, I was like, all right, let me just test how this works. And then I loved it. I used it on my laptop. It was amazing. It was fantastic. As of right now, I'm using Manjaro Linux, or it's a Arch-like system. And the reason why I'm specifying that is because I used a different Arch-like system, and that was a whole fucking mistake. I regret doing that, and that's never going to happen again. If you want a Windows-like experience, use Linux Mint. It's really not that hard. It is really, really easy to use, and I highly recommend you use something like that. Or if you want to get a little more technical, you can just use something called Plasma. Plasma is the most Windows-like experience you can get on Linux. People might argue. The one thing I hate about people who use Linux as much as I love Linux, they are so fucking judgmental for everything you do. I'm sorry I'm using X and Y. It is not my problem that I didn't automate this and that for whatever software you decide to use. Let me use whatever software I fucking want. I don't care about your opinion. All kidding aside now. The reason why I went into that little rant is because I started using a Windows manager. And I'll show you what it means. People call it a tiling manager or tile manager. I'm going to keep calling it a window manager. I use two different Windows managers. For like my day-to-day, I use Hyperland because it's just easier for me. It just makes sense. Everything works out of the box, and yeah, I think it just visually looks more appealing. That's on something called Wayland. We don't talk about that. You don't care about it. It doesn't matter. If you're just coming from Windows, you don't care about it. Whatever happens in the back end happens in the back end. Who gives a fuck? You don't want to go down the rabbit hole I went to that took me literal days. Actual fucking days of research. And now I know so much about now I know so much about what is it called? The compositors, Wayland and X11, that I sound like a complete fucking psychopath every time I mention them. What are they? Don't fucking worry about it. Do not worry about it. You don't have to think about it. I was talking earlier about Windows Manager and how I didn't like having a Windows-like experience. This is what I mean. I'm also using my Elgato Stream Deck, even though Elgato doesn't officially support Linux. There are several open source platforms that actually do support it. So, yeah. Elgato, just make it fucking open source. There's nothing stopping you. But besides that, this is my desktop platform. This is my window manager. I'm using DWM. This is what I call the Windows Manager for complete and utter schizophrenics. So as you see here, I'm able to customize everything. Look, I'm using 10% of my brain power. The ABR threat level right now, or the ABR threat index as I'm going to refer to it, is only at 2-3%. It's okay. It's fine, guys. You can stay. There's no problem. There's the reference folder. Unfortunately, it's only 40 gigabytes. Not that big. Kind of cringe. And it's only 10% used. All right, whatever. The date, the time, and sound. That's right. I have sound. Unbelievable. Crazy to think that Linux has the ability to use sound. But let's say I wanted to open something up. But how do I do that? I press the Windows key. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. Oh, I press Windows P. Oh, look at that. And want to open up Steam? Want to open up OBS? Want to open up only Office? Krita? Dolphin, the file manager? I know. Absolutely insane. Let me show you something interesting. Kdenlive is the editing software I'm going to be using on Linux. Is what I would say if I was using Kdenlive as the editing software on Linux. I'm going to install DaVinci Resolve because DaVinci Resolve is somehow, in some way, really, really good on Linux. I literally don't know how that works. So I launched that. Look at that. It's launching. I know it's uncensored. That's because Linux works weird. And there you go. Look at that. Editing software. You can edit on Linux, guys. Who would have fucking thought? Believe it or not, Linux can be used for gaming, content creation, and all this. The only thing stopping you from going to Linux is there's literally nothing. There's actually no reason to go on Linux. But let's go back a second. Didn't I say I use Windows for streaming or for content creation? There's a specific reason for that. It's not because of the software I'm using. I'm using all free or open source software, and that run either or on that run on Linux or what is it called? Actually, that's about it. The reason why I do most of my streaming on Windows is because I'm not exactly sure why. If I could give you an answer, I would. But for whatever reason, streaming on Linux is just an overall worse experience than it is on Windows. You might think that's a bit weird considering that OBS is not only open sourced, but it's, on Linux natively. There's a few reasons for that. I'm not gonna get too far into details, but essentially, remember when I mentioned X11 and Wayland? These two are the sole reasons why we can't have nice things in life. But kidding aside, for whatever reason, running games like Team Fortress 2 is an issue on Linux. But on Windows, there is no problem. It works perfectly fine. I literally don't know why this is such an issue. But oh well, it is what it is. I can live switching to Windows for content creation. I know some other big streamers, like for instance, Primogen. Yeah, the Primogen. He actually uses Linux VM on his streaming machine. I don't know what he uses personally, but whenever he does work or streaming, whenever he uses Linux on his streaming desktop, he runs it in a VM, just because the streaming experience on Windows is overall better. And I have streamed on Linux before. I have played games on Linux before. The reason I don't is because one day, for whatever reason, I launched Team Fortress 2, and my frame rate was dying. But when I switched to Windows, which is arguably a much more bloated platform and slower than Linux, yes, that's right, Windows is now officially slower than Linux. For whatever reason, it just works better. I'm not exactly sure what's the reason behind it. I can't say it's the encoder, but maybe it's something to do with maybe it's just something to do with the video rendering on Linux. Besides that, everything else I do is just on Linux. Whenever I'm coding, I use either Vim or Emacs because that's just what I like. That's just what I use. If I'm doing heavy development, I use Emacs. If I'm doing something light, Vim. Thank you, Sonic. Thank you, Mr. Zozen. If you understood that reference, we need to go outside. I guess, kidding aside, my fucking computer just blacked out for a second because I stopped using it. Thank you, Linux. Thank you, Linux. All kidding aside, Linux is a fantastic platform, and I really do recommend you try it. It really is, for lack of a better term, simple. It is deceptively simple. You can only know surface level knowledge getting into Linux, and you'll be okay. There's gonna be these fucking and listen, they're much smarter than me, but I need you to understand. There's gonna be these fucking socially incompetent fucking idiots. That's right, fucking idiots who start talking and yapping about, oh, you need to learn this, you need to do that. Like, why would you ever do this? Why would you ever do that? Fuck them. Don't listen to anyone else. Listen to me. Listen to me. Unfortunately, the right opinion. If you want to get into Linux, but don't want to get into too involved in anything, just install Manjaro. Just install Ubuntu. Just install Linux Mint. They all have these built-in app stores you can use. You don't need to do anything crazy. It's all there for you. And if you're worried about gaming, look at the fucking Steam Deck. Look at the Steam Deck. It works fine. The reason why I run into these issues with Team Fortress 2 is beyond me. It might be because of my system itself. If, I guess, you're interested in learning more about Linux, I might do some more videos on it. This is not primarily a Linux channel. This is a haha funny channel. Not gaming, believe it or not. I don't like gaming as much as I used to. This is primarily here for fun. Maybe I can show you a few things about Linux that you might find interesting. Maybe I'll show you how I do my DWM. It's cool. It's interesting. It's all cool. Or maybe I'll show you my Wayland install too. I don't do anything crazy. I just try to do, I don't want to say the bare minimum, just something simple that I can use and that will cause me no problems. For instance, coding, all I do is make sure I have an LSP working. If it's not working, I'm going to start crying. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I wouldn't call it slop, but I hope you got something interesting out of it, even though it is incoherent. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be talking to you hopefully soon. I don't know. I start a full-time job next week, so what could I do? Alright. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Ciao.